It's another beautiful day to be a raider, draped in the silver and black. I represent the shield. I represent the swords. It's that time of night again, Raider Nation. And you've come back. Why? Because it's time. It's time to bring them.
What's up, Raider Nation? I am the Commish, coming to you live, as always, from the confines of Hardcore Challenge Live Studios. Where is that at, might you ask? It just happens to be deep behind the enemy line. This is Raider Reaction, and you're about to get a real fucking reaction right off the bat tonight, boys and girls, because some news has dropped this evening, which is so many levels of bullshit, I don't even know where to begin. The entire story, to begin with, is bullshit, and said result is even more bullshit. So, where do I begin? First, what do we do every Monday and Wednesday on Raider Reaction? We drop back deep in the pocket and let it fly league-wide as we touch on all the Hot League stories coming out of Week 12. Because, besides our game, it was an action-packed week league-wide. And there are 31 other enemies. We must be educated fans, and we will discuss everything. But first and foremost, because we are primarily Raider Nation here, which, okay, I think so. This means the most to us. Now, we all seen it. We've all watched it all freaking day. We've watched it over and over again like it was the prize fight from Saturday night. Talib Crabtree. King Crab against King Douche. You got my immediate reaction last night. You got my immediate reaction during the halftime show with the captain yesterday. I didn't mind any of his actions up until the point after Talib swings at him. After that, at that point, you got to be a smart enough professional to know, all right, I pushed the envelope, the guy swung at me. I win. You win. See, what you don't understand is that when you bring the fight to work, listen, man. Listen. I'm a man. Hell, I'm not that terrible much older than Mr. Crabtree. And you know what? If somebody at my work or anywhere else in my life pisses me off, we will square up and deal with it man to man, because that's how men deal with it. I'm not going to go pick a goddamn fight with him at work in front of the security cameras. I'm going to go handle it. So if you really want to handle it, you go handle it. You don't take it to work and do it at work where everybody's watching. Trying to save face. Get the hell out of here. Save face? You want to save face? When he snatched the chain off you the first time, you should have put his bitch ass on the ground. Then you'd have saved face. Now, at this point, now it's getting professional. Now it's getting, because now what has happened? Now, like I said, there's levels of bullshit. And I'm working my way through the levels of bullshit. Because there's so many levels of bullshit to this story that I mean, I haven't even got to probably the biggest amount of bullshit yet, so bear with me. No, I lost my train of thought there. Serenity now. All right. So, like I said, you bring that to the workplace. So now, not only did you take yourself out of the game, completely out of the game, that's a 1-game suspension. Any must-win game for your team. Not only that, you have now taken yourself out of the next 2 games, which are our entire fucking season. Our entire season. Because if we don't win the next 2 games, there is nothing left. This is it. The Giants are must win to set up basically what is our first playoff game, is beating the Chiefs in Kansas City. We have to handle the Giants at home, and the Chiefs in Kansas City are basically our first playoff game. That's the way, and you have taken yourself out of both of those games. He wasn't, I would have, that's the thing, man. That's the thing. If somebody, you know what, you know how many times I've wanted to bust somebody in the mouth at work? I can't even count the times I can't even take my shoes off and count the times. But I've never done it. Sometimes you just have to be the bigger man. And if you want to handle it, you don't handle it at work. Because then what? You're going to lose your job? Then you got to come home and tell your wife because you're being a big man you lost your job? Shit. That's not how you handle business. You can't come home and tell your family, well, this dude freaking, this dude bumped my shoulder when he walked by me, so I freaking jacked him up, beat him down right in front of the water cooler. That's not gonna, that just doesn't work well. So what if he snatched your chain off you? Then you handle that business, but you handle that business properly and where it needs handled. Listen, man, the guy had a year to think about it. A year. Like, seriously, man? If you were that butthurt about it, you should have handled that business a long time ago. That's all I'm saying. Because now, you've lost 3 paychecks, and you've taken yourself out of the game for 3 games, essentially. Now, next level of bullshit. 2 games? Now, regardless of what I think of what happened, or the actions of the people involved, 2 games? They already set out this entire last game because it happened at the very beginning of the game, and they both set out. Now you're going to take 2 more games? Let me take you back in time. Ray Rice freaking caveman clubs his woman, drags her out, unconscious body, drags her out by her hair like she's limp and dead for all he knows. He got 2 games. 2 games. AJ Green attacks a guy from behind, basically, puts him in, goes full MMA and wants to rear naked choke him. Just a little money out of the pocket. Still gets to play. Knowing we're on the verge of digging ourselves out of the hole that we'd created and possibly making the playoffs, do they not want the Raiders in the postseason this season? Is it a conspiracy? Dun, dun, dun. Is it? We're the team they love to hate. Always have been. Always will be. So, if there ever is an opportunity, if they weigh one way or the other, they're not going to lean our way. They'll lean the other. 100% of the time. It's been proven over and over again. They hate Al Davis. They hate his son. They hate the team. They hate everything we stand for. We're against the establishment. We're friggin' Raiders. We're Pirates. And That's why so many guys are held out of the hall. So many guys from that era. That's why. That's why. And it is what it is. And we just deal with it. There's no sense in bitching about it. It's just stating facts. It's just stating facts. So, the level of bullshit in this story is almost too much to handle. It really is. Because the suspension itself, the act that got the whole suspension should have never happened. This should have been dealt with long before it hatched itself out a freaking year later on the field. This should have been handled long before that. As men, they should have handled it long before that. And as professionals, they should have not allowed it to filter into their workplace. Especially after a year. Oh, what do we got? We got a Niner troll up in here? Please. Please. You're really not worth the effort. Much like what your team puts forth. They just think the games really aren't worth the effort. What a pathetic bunch of losers they are. Pathetic bunch of losers. But not only is the acts of what caused the suspension bullshit, the suspension itself is bullshit, the amount of the suspension is bullshit, the way NFL gauges, I mean, they have no parameters on how many games you're suspended. Beat your wife, 2. Drunk driving, go to counseling. Get caught smoking weed. Oh, good God. Is that a doobie? You're out. A year. 6 months. I don't want to see you again. Go clean your life up. What the hell's wrong with you? Beat your wife, 2 games. Take a swing at a guy and give him a 3 Stooge eye poke. Apparently you get 3 games. That's apparently worse than beating your wife. What did Greg Hardy get? For slamming his old lady and bruising her from head to toe, slamming her on weapons and everything else. He even got another job. Aqib Talib shoots at his sister's boyfriend, 2 counts of assault while he has been in the league, and it's, I don't get it, man. This guy has a prior record in the NFL of being in trouble a lot. He just shot himself not that long ago and lied to the police about it. Filed a false report. This guy's notorious for being a freaking knucklehead. Crabtree's never really been in any sort of incident like this. He's obviously been provoked. Everybody knows it. No, it wasn't. It was Plaxico Burress that went to prison, Popeye, for shooting himself in the leg. But the only reason he went to prison for shooting himself in the leg is because of the stringent gun laws in New York City, where he did it at. There's obviously where it happened. Talib, it happened in Dallas area, which obviously the gun laws are much different in Dallas and New York City. It's like night and day. But no, you were right. You were on the right path. You just had the wrong dude. You were on the right path, and which was a totally related story. Because that's really the only other time it happened. Because at the time when it happened, that did come up. Was he going to be? Is he going to go to prison? Well, then no. And you're allowed to carry. You can carry there as long as you've got what you're supposed to have legally to carry. First off, JT, I will answer that question. How many times would I allow somebody to rip off my chain? Once. One time would you rip off my chain. Once it got ripped off, I would handle his ass in the proper arena. But I would handle his ass. Second, I wouldn't wear the chain in a football game anymore. Because obviously, it's an unnecessary distraction and an easy target now for your opponents to get under your skin. So, why wear it? That's honestly how I would look at it. Because I thought about that too. What would I do if it happened to me? Well, me and Mr. Talib would have a discussion if I was in his shoes. There's a lot of places to have that discussion. You're both wealthy gentlemen. Figure it out. If you really are that butthurt about it, that you think you need to physically go at him, besides just beating him on the field, then you figure out where to handle it. Because obviously he wanted to handle it like that. Yes, the donkey is suspended also. They're both suspended. So, I understand it. I'd have been pissed. Don't get me wrong. He has every right to be pissed. I think he handled it wrong. There was a point in the altercation where he could have walked away and he could have came out the victor. And would not have hurt the team. Because the ultimate thing of being a professional athlete, the thing about being a professional athlete, the number one thing you can give to a team, the number one thing you can give to a team is availability. If you are not available for that game, you are no good to anybody. They only get you for 16 games a year that mean dick. 16. The NFL career is so short. Most will never even see 100 games in their career. And you just gave up 3 because some guy pissed you off. I'm sorry. I have been pissed off at people many, many times, and I make a hell of a lot less money than this guy. And it's all about, I guess, I don't know, keeping your anger in check, being an adult, being a professional. That's what it comes down to me. Sometimes you just have to be the professional. And after this incident, I honestly hope I don't see him wearing his gold chain out on the field anymore, because it's become a distraction now. And I'm sure he's probably still going to wear it, and he's going to wear it in a cocky manner, like, but I think it's a distraction. It's obviously become a distraction. And no team needs any unnecessary distraction. Oh, I 100% believe he will too, Billy. 100% believe you. I do not know. This is one of my favorite hats, and I have no idea. My wife got it for me, and it was a gift. I have no idea. But it's my tropical Raider hat, because, you know, we are kicking it tropical style, deep behind the enemy lines. That's just how we roll. I won't rub it in and tell you we're suckers dealing with cold. Well, let's move on, because there was a couple stories that came out of the game. And obviously, we got the Raider Nation report tomorrow, where I will really get deep into everything silver and black for a solid hour. But Monday is our league show, so I do want to touch on some of the bigger league topics from around the league. But I do want to stay with the Broncos, the Donks, the Raiders for just a minute more. Gabe just got a fine. Gabe did not get suspended. Mostly because I believe he was, he got caught in the wash. Yes, he was obviously in the fray. Obviously. But he got caught in the wash, and his was more retaliation. He did not come out. These two were chippy right off the bat, and there was obviously prior history. Everybody knew there was prior history. There was intent. You know, there was no intent with Gabe. Gabe didn't start a fight. Gabe wasn't involved in it. Gabe got caught up in a bar fight, basically, that broke the field. And hey, if you've ever been in a bar fight, when all of a sudden people come crashing on you, you turn and swing. It's just what you do. It's just what you do. He got caught in the fray, and so I think that's why he got the fine, didn't get the suspension, because he was not an aggressor. He was just, he's a big, gigantic man caught in the middle of a freaking physical confrontation. What's he gonna do? He's gonna do what you've seen him do. He's gonna do what you've seen him do. Paxton Lynch. Oh, Paxton. Oh, you're the new crying Jordan. The new crying Jordan. Well, for one, we did knock Paxton Lynch out with an ankle injury for 2 to 4 weeks. So, he's out. He's out for 2 to 4 weeks. Now, his heart and ability are probably, I think that was season ending. that was possibly career ending to his psyche. I've never, the closest I can only ever remember ever seeing a quarterback just break down was Jay Cutler quitting on his team in the playoffs while he's on the exercise bike pedaling and his team season's dying right in front of him, and he just did not seem to give 2 fucks. And I was watching that and thinking to myself, how many quarterbacks that could pedal on a bike would be out there playing? Would Brett Favre be on the sidelines pedaling a bike? Would Kenny Stabler be on the sidelines pedaling a bike? You would have had to stop them tooth and nail from getting out on the field. So that to me, if you could ride a bike, you could probably go out there and take a snap. But he has no heart. But like I said, he's out 2 to 4 weeks. But I would be surprised if you ever see him starting under center for the Donkeys again after that performance. I would be very surprised. Barring an injury where they have no other option, that kind of performance is career damaging. That was really bad. But, hey, you pray on the week, you play this on your schedule, and we got that W, and that's all that matters. We're on to the Giants. Taking a look at the rest of the league, standing-wise, we are sitting 1 game out of the division title and 1 game out of the wild card spot. Currently, your last wild card spot is held by Buffalo at 6-5. The Jaguars had the other at 7-4. Manuel, I agree. You know what? Even better, I like the full contact. MMA would be good, but I got a feeling neither one of these guys are very talented grapplers, and that would probably be a pathetic. So I'm going for more like celebrity boxing. I think that's what they should go. Celebrity boxing is the way for these two to go, because then there's a ref there that makes them stand up and throw at each other. They can't hug it out, nothing. There's a ref that'll constantly get in between them, separate them, and make them throw. I think celebrity boxing is the way to go for this, for Talib and Crab. That's the way to go. Celebrity boxing. Hell, they can even wear headgear. Make them feel better. So they don't hurt their pretty little faces. I guess, if they're one of those guys that can't handle getting punched in the mouth. You're goddamn football players. You can't handle getting punched in the mouth? I mean, come on. How the hell did you get this far? That is regular boxing now. It's basically celebrity boxing anymore. God damn, what the hell happened to boxing? I used to love boxing. I grew up on boxing. To leave, apparently, I agree, Raider and Natalie, he prefers the headgear. He won't take his helmet off. Do you see him start to take it off? As soon as he started, he's like, oh, shit. I'll just put that right back on. I don't want none of that. But he did get the stooge. Crab got him with the stooge through the old face mask pretty good, so that was nice. Steelers at 9-2 are leading the AFC North. Titans 7-4, as well as the Jags 7-4. So one of those teams right now would be sitting in the wild card spot, and it would be the Jags, as the Titans would own the tiebreakers right now. So we are still completely in it, but this is a must-win game against the Giants this week to set up the huge game against Kansas City. I mean, the Bills did us a big favor. I mean, thank you, Buffalo. You owed us for the ass whipping you handed us earlier in the season. So they gave us a little early Christmas present by taking down the Queefs for us, which was glorious. I mean, to watch that right before the game and then get to watch the Raiders go out and handle business like they should have done the week before was good stuff, man. What's up, Raiderette Stephanie? That was good stuff. So that was a great game. And Minnesota, Case Keenum. Who the hell saw that coming? This is the what the hell team of the year is the freaking Minnesota Vikings. They just keep on trucking, man. The Vikings are I just shake my head when I look at they're freaking 9-2 with Case Keenum. They've lost so many running backs. They're down to our cast off. They're beat up and they just keep winning. They're a little bit at the advantage of playing the Bears. Aaron Rodgers is gone now, and the Lions just haven't been what we all thought the Lions looked like they were going to be after, signing Stafford to the big contract. I mean, the Lions go out and they lose to Case Keenum. Yeah, like Maria said, what do they do with Bridgewater now? I mean, they've been holding out hope for Bridgewater after that horrific injury. I mean, I guess that injury was bad. Like, it was so bad when it happened, everybody just stood around him in a circle, like on Boys in the Hood, looking at a dead body. Like, oh, damn. Damn. It was one of those type of injuries where, like, nobody knew what to say. That, like, the whole place went silent. And they had to, I guess they had to drive the ambulance, right out on the field. It was that bad that they didn't know what the hell to do. So, yeah, I guess it was really, and it was, I guess, a very typical non-contact play. And, it was bad. Now, we're about mid-show, so I'm going to throw up a teaser. Those of you who are feeling chatty, got something you want to get off your chest, I'm going to open up half the video screen to anybody that would like to join me for about 10 minutes before my WTF to close the show. So probably about 15 more minutes. So if anybody wants to come on and talk about whatever, I will, because this goes to the post. This is our league show, so I'll open it up to anything you want to talk about. League-wide, Raiders, other teams, the playoff race, whatever you'd like. So in about 13 minutes or so, you know what you got to do. You got to throw the fire in the comment line. We see them fire emojis. We'll see, Jukebox. We did go MA, but you're right. Because we're on Facebook, we still have to stick. He is correct. We have to keep the one rule. You must bring the fire. And we do have a no nipple policy. The Orlando Raider Nation was awesome, Josh. I had a good time over there. The halftime show turned out really well. There's the second live one I did with the captain. If you guys haven't checked it out, go check it out. It's only the second time. We didn't rehearse. We haven't rehearsed anything. We just sat down last week and hashed it out. And right there live and just did what we do. And this week we did the same thing with the Orlando Raider Nation over in Davenport at the Ale House, and had a really good time. I had a really good time. And check that one out if you haven't checked it out. Apparently we did okay. It's got like, I don't know, 6,500 views on it already. So it's we're going to do the same thing again next week, but we'll be back with the Florida Raider Nation this week. We'll do a live halftime show there. And then, I don't know where the hell we'll be next week. I'm going to bounce around. Johnny and the boys were very, very accommodating. Very accommodating. We had a good time. And we left with the win. So it was a good on location stint for sure over there. It was a good on location stint. The Chokers. They're pacing with us right now. We're pacing with us. Ooh, that's a good question, Edgar. I will come to that in just a second. It's a good question. I will take that one. Just a second. But the Chokers are surging, and right along with us right now. They get Dallas, and I mean, what in the hell happened to Dallas? What about Dak Prescott is for real? Like, I don't need Zeke. Yeah, the hell you don't, obviously. You guys are freaking joined at the hip, must share a damn brain, I guess. Because as soon as Zeke left, he ain't got nothing left. They look bad. He's like Stevie Wonder out there reading defense. Can't read shit. He's throwing it to every damn buddy but a Cowboy. Referees need to start ducking. Well, I know they'll choke, but when you get Dallas handed to you, when they're straight in the middle of the toilet bowl. What's up, NorCal? But they're surging. They are with. I mean, they've got a couple favorable matchups to grab some wins, but you know it's the NFL. You play who's on your schedule, and you know, looking from last season, that Cowboys game looked like a tough one. Now, not so much. Now, I think it was Edgar asked me the question earlier. Who do I think will win the NFC? I think we're all surprised by the 10-1 Eagles. You got the 8-3 Rams, 7-4 Seahawks, 9-2 Vikings, 8-3 Saints, 8-3 Panthers. So let's take them one at a time. I'm not a believer in the Panthers. I think they're soft, and there's no way they take the NFC. They'll make it into the playoffs probably, or probably grab a wild card. I don't think they'll even win the division. And if they do, I don't see them making it far. They'll get bounced. They're soft. They're a soft playoff team. Cam Newton is mentally soft when it comes in the playoffs. He can't handle adversity, and he will cry like a bitch and dress like an idiot. The Saints are dangerous because the Saints have a two-headed monster at running back. And if that two-headed monster comes into the playoffs healthy, and you got Drew Brees who can drop 400 passing yards on a game at any given time, a team with a running game like that, with a possible decent record, getting some dome games, and they got a good running game that can handle cold weather and adversity. The Saints are a dangerous team. Vikings, I'm still not sold on the Vikings. I'm not sold on Case Keenum, man. I'm just not. They're at the mercy of a down division. They've got a kick-ass defense, but I'm just not sold on the Vikings. The Rams? The Rams are that sparkly new toy. But man, that sparkle might wear off real quick. I'm not sold on them yet. And the Eagles, man, the Eagles are 10-1. But that is a young team with no playoff experience. Are they legit? Are they victims of a weak division? They've won 9 in a row. Nine in a row. That's a pretty amazing feat. But, like I say, you play these on your schedule. I see him slipping a little bit. That's why I think some of these other teams, honestly, I think it comes down to maybe the Eagles. The Falcons are surging. They're 7-4, and they are not out of it yet. Because there's a good possibility that they make the playoffs. There's a possibility 3 teams could make the playoffs out of the NFC South. As you've got 2 8-3s and 1 7-4 right now. What's up, Al? So, it is entirely possible. Entirely possible. So if I had to pick a team right now, coming out of week 12, 5 weeks left in the regular season, who I think will take the NFC and be the representative in the Super Bowl, man, it's a tough one. I'm going to say the Saints. I'm picking the Saints. And I'm picking the Saints based on the premise that the running game stays healthy. If the two-headed running game of Mark Ingram and Kamara can stay healthy going into the playoffs, and Drew Brees is healthy, I just think that's a very dangerous offense going into the playoffs. So I got to pick one. But the NFC is such... There's a handful of teams you could pick. The Saints are such a new team that the majority of that team has no playoff experience. Their coach does and their quarterback does, but the rest don't. The Panthers are soft, man. I'm telling you. They're soft in the big games. The Falcons can get hot. I can see it. You can make an argument for the Falcons. Hell, you could make an argument for the Vikings. A strong one. The Rams, too. God damn, they're 8-3. You know, apparently, they've got things clicking. All of these teams. But, like, the same thing with the Eagles, the Rams, the Vikings. All of these teams, what do they have in common? Freaking zero playoff experience. Young quarterbacks, zero playoff experience with young teams that do not have experience in being there. All of them unproven in NFL playoff football. NFL playoff football. And just ask Cam Newton what NFL playoff football can do to you. It can turn you into a sniveling, crying little bitch. Make you pout and cry and go home. That's what NFL playoff football can do to you. It crushes your dreams, your spirits, and it's not the same as regular season football. When you get a group of men that go out there and it's do or die now, it becomes a whole damn different thing. Every play matters. Every drive matters. Every second matters. It's different. The NFC is strange. Now the AFC, God, let me throw up in my mouth. I have to freaking compliment freaking Cheatriots in any way, shape, or form. But they do have playoff experience. They do have playoff experience. And they're the defending champs. So to not be worried about them in the playoffs. Now the Steelers, I'm not sold on the Steelers. Another team that has been the benefit of weak-ass division and schedule. Only 1 or 2 quality victories. Squeaking out against the Colts. I'm not sold on them. And the Titans and the Jags at 7-4, I mean, come on. They're not playoff juggernauts. So, to the fans that can't see how we can get in and how we could possibly still get it done this year, my God, just look at the field of competition. It's so even right now, even keeled. In the AFC, it's ridiculous. Nobody's really stepping forward besides one or two teams. It's just the way it is. You don't see, besides the Patriots and the Steelers, nobody's stepped out. You've got the number 1 and the number 2 seeds locked up. The rest of them are freaking fair game. You got 2 7-4 teams tied for the South and a 6-5 team leading the fucking West. We win at the Giants. We're 6-6. We're right in the middle of the playoff hunt and wild card and division crown. And hope is still alive. Coop is in concussion protocol. He also has a sprained ankle. I'm going to call it now. He's probably not playing this week. If it was just the concussion, maybe. But he's dealing with an ankle too. You're looking at Seth Roberts, Cordell Patterson, Johnny Holton show. You're going to see a lot of Cook. We're up for a cameo, Josh. Absolutely. You can come in and drop some Ric Flair on us. So yes, we are going to be without both, which is back to my beginning of the show. Back to that. Put your team first. Because now, look what happened. Coop gets knocked out, man. So, Crab, you've taken yourself out. You hurt the team by letting personal vendettas get in the way of you being there for your team. Available. The number one thing a professional athlete, his number one attribute, forget how fast he is, how high he can jump, how much he can bench, any of that shit. His number one attribute, be available. Can they call your name and you can come on the field? If the answer is no, then whatever you did hurt your team. Sucks, but it's the truth. If there's anybody that wants to join Raider Reaction tonight, live, you have to be watching the Facebook through your Facebook Live app. Excuse me. Your Facebook Live app on a handheld device. To receive your invite, turn your handheld device horizontally, sideways, and hit accept. So if there's anybody who would like to join the show, I'm going to open it up for 10 minutes. If you want to join the show, you got to put in the comments, I want to see fire emojis all the way along there. I want to say, I want to bring the fire. Something that tells me you're ready to bring the fire, because nobody wants you to come on and be boring. We don't want to listen to that. So if you want to come on, throw it up in the comments. I'll pull you in. Do I think we should run Lynch more? Edgar, I think we've been ramping it up. Actually, last game, Lynch had 61 yards, and he was getting it done in the first half. He had over 6 yards to carry, and he was getting it done. The problem is when you're damn near down 24-0. Coming into the second half, what are you going to do? You're not going to run it anymore. And unfortunately, that's what happened. And in this last game, I thought Marshawn, they were mixing him in. The thing is, they've got to sustain drives to be able to get beast mode more involved. You sustain drives, you can start getting more involved. When we're going 3 and out and we're not sustaining drives, that takes away your opportunity to work the run in a little more. So I've actually liked the way we've been ramping him up the last few weeks. He hasn't been doing that bad. He's on my fantasy team, so believe me, I'm monitoring that sucker like crazy because I need that boy to perform. Oh, good Lord, do I need him to perform? Do I need him to perform? Although, I was in the league this week, so I'm officially eliminated anyway. So fantasy's really over for me. Oh my goodness, what do we got here? What's up, Josh?
What's going on? I know I'm in the hot tub, buddy. Don't worry, I got clothes on.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I wanted to ask you, what did you think about Lynch taking Talib out? Do you think he was being like courteous to him, trying to be diplomatic?
I hated it. I didn't
like it either. But I mean, was he literally telling him, like, showing him the door?
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's like best, like Marcus Peters is like his family or whatever. But it just seems like, dude, this guy's all over the place. I mean, I kind of like his antics, but then sometimes, what's the deal?
I agree. I didn't like it at all. I didn't like it at all.
I didn't really like it either.
I thought it was a bad look. It was a bad look.
Well, that Chargers game is looking like that's what's really – if we'd won that game, that high snap – I mean, Kondo never screws up, man. Kondo is usually on fire all the time.
Well, if we come down to my one game, we can look at a lot of things in this season because there's been a lot of those moments. The Seth Roberts fumble that just sent the freaking Patriots game down the toilet. There's been all kinds of weird moments,
Yeah. No interceptions until one fell in Bowman's lap when he was on the ground. Yeah.
Who would have called that? Who would have called that?
Crazy.
It's been a weird season. But we're right in it still.
I think it is absolutely unjust that Talib and Crabtree get the same suspension. This is the second time. It's ridiculous. This is the second time Talib has personally ripped his chain off. I mean, how is that not a factor? I don't understand that.
I agree.
I'm just beyond pissed off about it.
He's been the aggressor. He started the whole.
Can't say that.
He's been the aggressor, in my opinion. He's been the aggressor, in my opinion, and they missed this whole last game. So
was kind of a problem coming out of Texas Tech. But I mean, he's been all class. He
doesn't have a history like this.
I don't blame him. I mean, I get where you're coming with it, but at some point you got to defend yourself and stop being disrespectful.
I agree. But you can't do something that's going to take yourself out for 3 games in the middle of a playoff hunt either.
Well, I don't think. No, that's definitely no bueno on that one, buddy.
It sucks. And with Coop going down, it's a man. What worst timing possible?
Yeah, and what's up with that? There's that cheap shot. What's going on with that?
Well, they're reviewing it, and what I've heard so far about the shot is that upon review, they believe that Cooper ducked his head a little bit as the guy was coming in, which made it much harder for the defender to redirect the shot because he pulled his head into the line of fire, and there's a possibility he may not get shit out of it.
It's crap, dude. It's crap.
Yep, that's what I've heard so far.
Anyway, I hope, if Crabtree gets a 1-game suspension, get it reduced 1 game. I agree with that. Give him 1 game.
1 game would be nice. We're going to miss him for the Chiefs game. The Chiefs game.
We need him for the Chiefs game.
That's a killer.
We definitely need him for the Chiefs game. So I'm going to hop off, buddy.
All right.
Next week.
You bet. I will see you
Pass
Sunday.
Somebody else. Later, bro.
Thanks, Josh. We'll see you Sunday. All right. One more person. I'll open it up to one more person. One more person, if you would like to come on. Bumping it up to one more person. But let's move on. Back to some of the league action. Atlanta handling Tampa. They're looking for real again, as they've gotten hot as of late. But how do you gauge against a team like Tampa? How do you gauge against a team like Tampa, really? As they just, without Winston, and he's in trouble again, they just can't seem to get it right. They just can't seem to get it right lately. And it's not a terribly surprising thing. Oh, the defense, absolutely, Lip. I do believe the defense improved this last week. What you didn't notice was the lack of blitzes. You've seen a lot more blitzes. You've seen a lot more stunts. You've seen a lot more defensive movement. You've seen a lot more pressure, a lot more gambling on defense. We held the rushing yards down. We held the quarterback passing yards down. In all of the categories that you need to be successful in a game, the defense actually did very, very well this last week under Pagano as his first game as defensive coordinator. So, I do think it was an improvement. Now, let's remember the opponent. Let's remember the quarterback we played against. Let's remember the team we played against. It was not like we played against a playoff caliber team. So you got to grade it on a curve. Did they do okay? Yes. Did they give up 2 touchdowns late they shouldn't have? Yes. They make it a 1-possession game, 1-touchdown game at the end when it shouldn't have been? Yes. Yes, they did. So there were positives. I did see a little more fire. I did see a little movement, which I liked. I did see some more pressure. But I agree, Mike. I thought the defense did well. There were positives and there were negatives. I thought they could have played a more complete game, and they softened a little bit at the end. I think we could have held them to at least 1 touchdown, not giving up to 2. But I agree. Irvin was finally present. Mack got in there. He was held all freaking game as usual. And the interception. We got the monkey off the back. Honestly think our defense has gotten a little more more flack than they should have, because our offense is so bad over a lot of the games. So it is what it is. Whatever. Big guy. I'm so impressed that you want to come in my show and talk shit, you pathetic, miserable fuck. I'm so glad. I don't care if you don't like my show. I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care if you don't like what I got to say. I don't give 2 fucks what you think. You don't like me? You don't like the way I look? You don't like my fucking backdrop? You don't like my motherfucking hat? Guess what, bitch? Scroll the fuck on by. You don't like the meme? Don't hit like. Welcome to social media, motherfucker. Eat a dick. Thank you. It's a free country. You get the freedom, get the fuck out of here. Just like I got the freedom to tell you to get the fuck out. Welcome to America. Welcome to Raider Reaction. I'm the commish, motherfucker. Fuck you. Thank you. Alright. And how we end our show, when I'm here solo, is a WTF. And my WTF for tonight should be, it should be about stupid asses like that. But I kind of changed what my WTF was going to be because the suspension came down. Now let's go back to what really happened. You got a little patty cake with the helmets on. This is a violent sport with grown ass men playing it. These are modern day gladiators put out on the field of play for our entertainment to basically knock the piss out of each other for 60 minutes. Let's not twist it into something it's not and try to turn this into freaking two-hand touch, because that ain't what it is, and nobody's gonna watch that shit if that's what you turn it into. So when you've got a guy who caveman beats his old lady on camera, unconsciously drags her out of an elevator by her hair, when she could have to him, she could have been dead for all he cared. And you literally could have watched on tape him dragging her dead, limp body out of that elevator. That guy got 2 games. Two games. And these guys that got in a little skirmish basically got suspended 3 games. This violence cleansing, which I like to call it, that they're trying to do on the NFL is just absolute bullshit. You cannot cleanse violence out of a violent game. You can't ask grown men who are fighting over a square inch of dirt to not get angry at each other every once in a while. What really happened? Nobody got hurt. Nobody was injured. Once he got everyone calmed the hell down, everybody could have came back and played. I don't think this one warranted all the additional. I think the game and a fine would have been enough. I think the game and a stiff fine would have been enough, in my opinion. I think they're trying to make the NFL a soft league, and you cannot cleanse the violence. Jack Tatum wouldn't even be allowed to play in the game, Bob. They would haul him off in handcuffs. And Jack Tatum, just like myself, would look at the rest of the league, and we would say together, "What the fuck? This is football. These are modern day fucking gladiators." You're asking them to be nice to each other out there? And come the hell on. Freaking ridiculous. So, as always, thanks for joining me. Thank you for even spending a second of time with me. I always appreciate it. Any second you spend with me during the show, thank you. Always appreciate it. New or old, a band of pirates, thank you for joining me. I will be back tomorrow. with the Raider Nation Report. Solid 60 minutes. We are going to do the complete condensed game. You're going to get the whole game. Donkeys at Raiders, the whole condensed game in just about 30 minutes. We're going to do that. You'll have that at the beginning of the show. And then we will break down everything about the Giants game and get ready for this weekend. So make sure you tune in tomorrow for the Raider Nation Report. Solid 60 minutes of every freaking thing silver and black. I'm out. Thanks for joining me. Peace. Love. Raider Nation.